So actually, let's go and have a look at the example clock here. So what we're going to do next, before we build the outer part of our hanger, is we're going to build the keyhole. So the keyhole needs to have a larger rectangular shape that the head of the screw will fit through, and then it needs to have a curve on top that's going to slot over the screw. And so we're going to make this first so we know what size it is, and then we can build the hanger around it. So heading back to Fusion, so we need to, first thing we need to do is we need to go back into this sketch to edit it. So you can see down here in my timeline, there's two ways you can do this. One is in my hanger component, I can go to sketches and I can just double check, there's my sketch. If I right click on that, I can go edit sketch and I can edit it. Or a quicker way is to go down to my timeline down here, and the sketch that I'm working on is highlighted. So if I right click on that, it has to be right click and go edit sketch. Now I'm back in my sketch. So the first step to making your keyhole is to make the rectangle that the screw is going to go through. So I would start with a center rectangle. Make sure you hover over the center line that you added last tutorial. Click once to anchor it, and then you can start to size your rectangle. So I would recommend making the rectangle at least 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter long. I'm going to make mine 12. And then if I hit the tab key, it'll take me down to the next dialog box. And for width, I would say you probably want it to be somewhere between kind of 6 and 8. So I'm going to make mine 8. And then I'm going to hit enter. And so I've made my box. Now you can see that because it's these two lines are black, which means they're constrained. I've given enough information to Fusion that it knows exactly where those are. However, these two are blue, which is interesting because I've put all my measurements in. So the question is, why are they blue? And the reason is that I haven't told Fusion where this box is supposed to go relative to the other shape. So what I need to do is I need to tell it the distance between either this end of the box and here, or the center of the box and here. So to do that, I'm going to go get my dimension tool, which is under the create menu, and because we use it so often, it's got a keyboard shortcut D, which is what I'm going to use from now on. And we're going to click on this edge here, and then we're going to click on, oops, let's try that again, D. So you can see next to the cursor, I've now got my little dimension icon. So I'm going to click on this edge here and the center of my box. And now I can see that right now it's a 12. So I might make that 8. See what I think about that. That's probably pretty good. So there's a little bit of wood still between this frame and where the keyhole is going to go. And now the next step is I'm going to add the curve part on top. So to do that, I'm going to go get my center diameter circle, hover over my reference line till I get the X. That's how I know it's on the reference line. And I'm going to make this 5 millimeters in diameter. So that is a measurement you should probably stick with. I wouldn't mess around with that too much. And so now what I need to do is I need to bring this down so that it overlaps with this shape and makes my curve. So rather than just doing it by hand though, I'm going to go and hit D on my keyboard, get my dimension tool. I'm going to click on the center of the circle and the top of this box. For some reason it didn't register that. And now again, I would use this measurement. I would make it 1.5 millimeters above the top. So we're almost there, but you'll notice that because this is a circle, it curves in like that. And what we actually wanted to do is we want a straight line coming straight down like this to guide the screw. So I'm going to go get my line tool, and I need to figure out where the middle of the side of this circle is. So to do that, I'm going to hover over the middle there, so Fusion knows I want something in the middle, and then if you'll notice when I drag it over, there's a little dotted line. And when I get to the edge there, I get the box. That's how I know that I'm on the middle of, I'm referencing the middle of the circumference. And now I'm just going to drag it down here. So you'll notice this is blue, and what we really want is we want it to basically we want the straight line to follow this curve and just go straight down. So if a straight line is at a 90-degree angle to a point on a curve, that's called a tangent. So we're going to go up here to our constraints. We're going to get the tangent constraint. Click on the line, click on the circle. Let's try that again. Get the tangent constraint, click on the line, there we go. And you can see here, the tangent constraint icon is now right there. So that tells us that the tangent constraint has been added, and so we can just do it again on the other side. And so we need to first make sure we're lined up with the center. Now, sometimes if you you can see here that Fusion has made this 90 degrees to this line, so that'll do the same thing as the tangent constraint will as well. Okay, so now I've got everything I need to make my keyhole. So in the next tutorial we'll talk about making the hanger frame that goes around it.